Well, greetings, colleagues and friends. I am really very honored to be sharing the screen here today with my friend Joellen Reichenbach. So, Joellen, good morning.
Good morning, John. Thanks for having me.
We're going to talk a little bit on marketing today. And since I know most of my audience is realtors, um, obviously we need to market ourselves to our new customers, but I think more importantly to our old customers. And that's why I wanted to share what Joellen has done for me and what I think she can do for you. So, Joellen, why don't you take a few moments to tell us about yourself, where you're from, whatever you'd like to share.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on where you're at. My company is Select Sales. We do creative marketing solutions for companies and individuals. I've been doing it now, believe it or not, 27 years. And the goal basically is always to take a look at what you're doing in your marketing and map it to see how we can improve it so that you can basically gain your sales driven relationships in the referrals and also the people that want to remember you and promote you. So I'm all about having fun with the tangible products.
Right? And we'll share a few of the ones you've done for me recently, which I knew when my customers got them that they would be calling me to thanking me for them because the relationships we build with our buyers or sellers over the months that we're working with them, just staying top of mind with them, even if it's a little gift, a little thank you, something besides a phone call once in a while, I think goes a long way. And the reason realtors and colleagues, I'm sharing this information with you today. Many of you might know this stat, but many of you might not know it. But most of your customers, they want to work with you again, and they want to refer you to their friends and family. But sadly, I think the statistic is like between 10 and 20% of the customers actually use their realtor again, even though they would if they could remember who they were. So by doing these little things, sending a little marketing piece, being creative, thinking outside the box, which is what Joellen, is an expert at, where they're going to remember us and refer us to their family and friends. And our current sphere, our customers are our bread and butter for future referral. And I've spoken about this numerous times on different videos. So, Joanne, I'm going to give you a couple of questions here. Let's put you on the hot seat. This isn't 60 minutes or anything, so don't worry about that.
Uh,
Okay.
I get it, John. I think I want to add this into what you just said,
Sure.
and it might bump into one of a question that you might offer is what I love about, let's just think about what you are as a realtor. You are a situation where you are taking care of someone in the moment when they want to make a drastic change
Right.
in their life. And you are coming in and, ooh, I get goosebumps thinking about how my realtor helped me. I wanted to move, but I knew I needed to be able to spotlight my beautiful house and let it go. And so it's interesting to think of yourself as a realtor. You're in the current moment of excitement, and that excitement starts happening, and you're rolling with it and making sure it's aligning with what they want to sell, but also what they want to get.
Right.
And that is a big moment where we're trying to also have them remember you through the process after that excitement has gone away.
Exactly. Yeah. I use the phrase, we help families and individuals transition to the next chapter in their life. And it's so true because think about this. The customers that you've been working with, why did they sell and buy? It's most likely because it's some type of familial change. It was a divorce, it was a funeral, it was a baby. It was something that happened that was monumental in their life. And we are a vital part, we as realtors, for helping them transition. And we've got, and they love us. They want to help us and grow our business, but we have to stay, top of mind with them. And that's where Joellen can help us do that. So let me ask you a few questions. I write them down so I, never miss a beat here with my friends. So what does Select Sales Creative Marketing Solutions actually do, and how did that lead you into working with realtors?
Sure. So in my world, it was 100% B2B. I enjoy working with businesses. And I also then started to realize I was actually working with title search companies.
Right.
And title search companies are basically coming in at a period of time where it's concluding, making sure everything is tidied up and ready to come to a close. I didn't always think of what should the realtor be handling. And so I sat there and I was like, well, this is a beautiful opportunity to back it up a little bit, go back to where the relationship begins, because the title search company wants the person to remember where to get those documents from if you need them, because those are the most important. And they're gifting at that time of closing. And I was like, huh, isn't a realtor should be the one that's gifting at the closing? And so that's what brought me to looking at saying, what is a realtor doing through it?
Right. Yeah, good point. Yeah, the title company is vital in any closing, obviously. And I've always thought that that was such a difficult position for the title gals and men who do close transactions because they handle all of the stuff that's rolling downhill to them. And actually, they had
Yes.
nothing to do with the bumps in the road, but they're the ones who have got to smooth it out at closing. So yeah, very, good point there, Joelle. So most agents send newsletters, and I do too. I think there's value in newsletters and emails, but there's got to be a better way to stay top of mind because let's face it, in today's world, how many emails are you going to actually look at today? You're going to see hundreds in your inbox, and most likely you're going to delete 90 of them because they just weren't vital or important. So, what do you think is missing in that approach by the agents, sending the emails and the newsletters?
So here's my thing. I do believe that your newsletter is very important. 100% it's coming in. It is providing such beautiful information to that person. And your goal is to have them read it and enjoy it, right? But then what happens when they hit delete? So when that delete button gets hit, you're done. They're off to the next email that comes in or the next task that they need to do.
Right.
So what I would like to expand your thinking is what is the item that is sitting in front of them or being utilized as they are moving throughout their day? Is it the scratch pad that they're grabbing to make a note and stick it on the refrigerator? Is it the whiteboard that's left on the refrigerator that they're writing the note to the loved one?
Right.
And you're branded on that delicately. So don't throw out those newsletters. Do not throw out the emails. We just want to take a look at how do we provide something that they physically pick up and they're using. That's where we're looking to expand your thinking.
Yeah, I agree. Something and something that's practical. And one I'll share right now is the first one that Joellen did for me was a jar opener. And it has my name on it, the logo, my phone number, and I was amazed. I really wasn't amazed. I shouldn't be shocked by the response I got from my customers who called me and say, "Hey, John, thanks, man. I needed one." You know? And well, there we go. Look at a handsome guy.
Yes, there
Yeah.
it is. Look at this
Yeah,
well
that
branded,
that was
oh,
wonderful. Yeah.
handsome fellow.
I wish I got 1,000 of them, but maybe next run we will.
So,
But
I mean, again, John, think about it. It's something that's long lasting
mhm,
that's going to go into now. Yes, it could go into the drawer in the kitchen, but the drawer is going to get opened. And when they are struggling to open that jar, they're going to pull you out
yeah,
and they're going to see John again.
right.
So it's a delicate brand, but it's a tool that is used within the day-to-day element of the customer. Doesn't mean they're open a jar every day. It just means that they're opening a jar, and when th're struggling, John's going to be the reminder that he's the right tool to call upon.
Right. And what I thought was equally as brilliant was the piece you put in the envelope for me. Because I think if I remember correctly, it's like just like this jar opener makes things easier, so does John with your real estate transaction. Something like that. It was a great play on words. And again, um, I was grateful that we sent that as a first piece. And again, the calls I got from my customers, it was wonderful. So it was a great way to reconnect with them and just have a conversation to see how everything is going with them. So where does follow-up most often fall through the cracks for agents? What have you seen?
Mm. So where I'm seeing the gaps that are taking place is, and I mentioned it slightly earlier, the closing of the excitement of the deal being closed and then moving and they're getting the keys, they're finally moving into their house. So I want you to think for a moment, and this is just to get us all thinking, nothing right or wrong, but imagine if you would walk into your brand new house and you start saying to yourself, hey, I want to go ahead and I want to order pizza because I have no food in the house. And they get the pizza. They have nothing to cut the pizza with because we know it doesn't get cut through and through. Imagine if you would have left on the countertop a beautiful little gift that gives them the right tools to be able to have their first meal.
Mm,
So I look at it as is it the excitement at the closing table or is it at when they walk through the door?
right.
Because
Yeah,
the always the fun thing, the effort is, the I don't know where the switch of all the lights are on the wall. Imagine if there was a nightlight left in the hallway,
right.
but the nightlight is your brand.
Wow, brilliant. And these are all simple little ideas. They don't cost an arm and a leg. And most likely, they're going to have these little tools, gadgets, whatever you want to call them, for years to come. And so it's just another way of you as the realtor, making sure they're remembering you. Brilliant
Well, and
stuff,
also
Joellen.
think
Well done.
about it. What is the time, John? I'll challenge you on this question. When do you think that the person, after they are in their house for a period of time and they're starting to talk to their friends about the experience, when do you think that starts happening?
Well, I think it's once they get comfortable in the neighborhood. Hopefully, it's a friendly neighborhood where people are coming over to, uh, meet them. And I will share this that what I've done not all the time, but I probably should every time is send everybody within 5 or 6 homes of the home a letter introducing the new neighbor to them. Because people want to know, hey, Sarah and Joe just closed on 123 Main Street. They just relocated from Indiana, whatever it might be. It's a
Right.
simple little thing because not only am I helping the customer feel welcome at their new home, but what is this neighbor thinking of me by making that introduction to them? So it's the little things that make a difference. You know,
Yeah,
we,
and your 6 to 18 month period is when your buyer actually starts talking. So you're right on, John. And when they start talking, you need to be there. So it's the strategic of the plan that if at 6 months or 8 months, you just drop a little something in the mail to them and say hello again and let them know that you are still there for them. Because of remember, some people are new to that area. They may not know the contractor that can help them do touch-ups, and you're the person that could be that glue that continues to come forward with thoughts and ideas. So it could be, and I'm just going to give an example. It could be a simple nail file that says, hey, don't file me away. But then they're having a piece to actually utilize. So your goal is to just be there, a trickle. So they remember you and then they call upon you because they want to tell their story. I love my house.
Yeah. Yeah, well done. And I will share that, since I've been in business for, so many years now, that my customers will call me for whatever reason. Because I want to make sure, first of all, they got to remember who you are, your number and all that stuff. That's all great. And that's where the jar opener and filer can come in handy. But if they needed a plumber, painter, whatever, I want them to call me and not go to Google to find somebody in their neighborhood because they don't know anybody else yet. So that's what, we want to be their go-to person for everything, but they need to remember you. Okay. If they don't remember
Oh,
you, they're
John,
not going to call you for a painter. So that's why we need to implement these simple little ideas to help you become top of mind. All right. So you
yes,
specialize in custom imprint products for anyone who hasn't heard of them, that term. What does that actually mean? And why does it?
sure. Sure. So custom imprinted products is literally just that. It is a product that will carry your name on it. And the object of the game is to find the proper branding that goes onto the item. And then what is the item going to do for the end user that's receiving it? Will
I
it
you know
get
what
you
I've
to
done with this when I if I have a meeting at Starbucks or Panera, I'll put my phone upside down on the table so anybody that's walking by can see it. So this is another great little tool.
Well, again, think of it this way. So this, everyone, is basically, as John showed it, a cell phone wallet, which is one of a beautiful, inexpensive promotional product. Imagine if you would, when you're giving it, that you put 3 business cards inside. And then why would you do that? Well, because you could gift it to them and say, this is a great smart wallet for the back of your phone. So when you're on the run, you could put your credit card in and your ID and health card. But if you know someone else that can use me, hey, there's a couple cards to pass that on.
Brilliant. Boy, you were born for this, Joellen. You're
Making you think, how can you? Oh,
Yeah,
I love it. I love having fun with, let's just this again. It's about like, where do you come in the moment? That is so important. And then what is the item going to do for you? And our goal here at Select Sales is always to figure out multiple ways for the product to be used. John's using it on in a handout, but he also designed it to be an item that will get mailed out to people as well.
that's
So
right.
there's ways that he can utilize it and give it out, even at networking. He could put his business card in and he can give it out. So
Right.
my goal is not to be one product, one situation, one product, multiple situations.
Right. And that goes into the next question. There's, you shared with me, I think maybe 20 different items for me to, pick 4, 5, 6, depending on how often you want to mail in your budget, et cetera. So in your mind, what's the way to approach that to pick the right ones? I know mine was from a budget standpoint, but
Yep.
please elaborate your
So
thoughts on that.
So when I look at it is first of all, don't get overwhelmed. That's the first thing because there's over 750,000 items that you can imprint on, and not everybody needs another pen with a logo on it. Let's just put it that way. So we're going to look at it as moments. I want to again put you back into your realtor mode. There are moments that happen where you need to capture your audience. So the moment is you don't know them, they walk through the door and they're looking around and saying, is this my house?
Right.
How do they remember you, even if that house is not the one that they want? What do you do? What
Mm,
do you give them? How do you gather their information, right? That's a moment. Then the next moment is that you're looking at closing again. What can you do at closing that
mm,
can make a difference? And then the next one is anniversary, guys, anniversary. I'm in this house for 1 year now, and I'm excited because I love it and I've been here for 1 year. Imagine if you would touch them on the 1 year anniversary.
right.
What a difference it could make. Now, let's be real. It's going to take effort, it's going to take energy. But once you get a system in place, and you start utilizing those things, you could even have the 1 year anniversary process set up the moment that they sign. And you could put it in, let's go back to a shoebox if you want. Put it in a shoebox with the month that it needs to drop out. It's about the system, and then it's about what you're doing.
Yeah, and that's such an easy date to remember. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
we all know what the closing date for a property is. And like you said, whatever system you want, whether it be in a Google or Outlook calendar, a shoebox, whatever, just a little reminder just to tell them, hey, congratulations. Where has the year gone? Whatever it might be. Come up with something clever. And
Yeah.
the customers
You
will
can even
appreciate it.
John, you can even use a hashtag and get them to tell their story if you want.
Right.
We can get really creative in the thinking of how do you keep that person engaged with you.
Hmm.
And that is what it's about. It's about when they need something, they're looking at you, John, and other people. They're looking at you as the person that's going to provide the solution to them.
Right.
Lawn guy, maintenance guy, painter, I want an addition, whatever the case may be,
Mhm.
your goal, and John, you do this really well on multiple levels, is you want to be the person that they call,
Right.
period.
Yeah. I do. It's funny when I do reach out to them, and I try to reach out to my customers monthly, even if it's a quick text message or whatever. So many times they respond it's like, um, you know, we love our house. We don't plan on moving. And I said, no, no, no. I want to know if you need any help with anything else. It's tax season. Do you need a CPA? Do you need a bookkeeper? A dog groomer? That's what we want to be. We want to be their go-to solution for everything. Because most likely in our businesses, especially those of us that are seasoned, we've got all the service providers that we've used personally and that we would recommend to everybody else. And while I'm on that point, I would never refer somebody who you've never used yourself. Okay, you gotta be careful because that's a reflection on you. Just like I'm referring my colleague to Joellen today, this has been a huge win for me by using her to, supplement my marketing, sending things to my customers, just being top of mind. So, Joellen, if I haven't thanked you yet, thank you.
Oh, no, thank you, John. I mean, again, I say it right back, everyone. I mean, think about it. Like when I see another realtor out there on my social media and I want to tag because I know John helps other realtors, I love just being able to say, John, he's trying to grow his team. I tag John
Right.
and say, did you think of talking to him? So it's about creating relationships, everybody. It's
Absolutely.
about providing solutions and being wholesome when you're doing it. It's not about like being a pest. It's just truly about how do you touch someone in the moment and create those moments for people.
Exactly. So if an agent came to you and they've got a huge sphere of past clients and referrals, um, how could you best help them? What do you think step one would be?
So step one for when I think about it is one, I want to get to know like what have you done in the past? What do you want to do in the future? And then how many people do you want to actually touch? And the reason is because let's just say you have a really deep list. Say it's 800. That's deep. And imagine if you're going to say, oh, I want to touch all 800 of them. Well, will you be able to handle if 20% of that 800 calls you? Will you be able to provide that service? So to me, it's about understanding where you are, where you want to go, how do you want to manage it, and how do you want to work on hitting that again and making you stand out as the connection. So we might have to adjust things based on how much time has passed. What things are you doing? What fits in your budget? Because again, my ultimate goal is just not to stand here and be like, you need 1,000 pens. No, no, no. The goal is interactive, creating a moment of something that works for the person receiving it, something that basically fits your budget. Because if it doesn't fit your budget, we're not going to do it. And I'm going to run the other way. Right.
Right.
And then the other thing is to know that it's about long lasting, like
Mhm.
make it last. It doesn't need to fit in a junk drawer. That's not my goal. I'm not here to fill landfills. I'm here to help you find the correct item that fits your goals. So I got to
Yeah.
know you.
Yeah. And like for that example that you use, like 800, you certainly could touch those 800, but you probably wouldn't want to do it all in 1 month. And you
No,
could spread
yes.
that out over a quarter, so it's actually manageable. Um, but yeah, and obviously you had that conversation with me, and we went from there and figured out exactly what item to send, how often to send. It was very, very seamless. I think the
Thanks,
hardest
John.
part for me was picking out what 5 items I wanted because I wanted them to be practical, and we can talk about the mailing process as well because that all comes into play here. Because as mail goes
Yes.
up every month, it seems that's a cost you have to factor in, right?
Yes, it is a factor, but we don't need to send something that's, and I'll give another great one that John did just to kind of give you a feel. And just John, I'm going to use you as an example. So the insert that went into the envelope, and then the product was actually a microfiber cloth that attaches to the cell phone again, front and back. Imagine number 10 envelope, putting it into the envelope.
Right,
It doesn't add anything but a stamp. So you might be thinking like, oh, I want to send something really puffy. Puffy costs more to send,
right.
but flat mailable has another lasting impression too.
Yeah, it does.
So, and again, think of your stages of the moments that you want to touch through the journey after and during. And again, I'm going to give another great tip, John, and you keep me in the right confinements here.
No,
But imagine if you would just take 15 minutes after you are done closing the sale and with the customer of the home, and you look at your system and procedure and set it up for success, even if I'm not doing the mailing for you, but you're doing the mailing, whichever direction, that 15 minutes could have the thank you note already. It can have the touch in 6 months note with something in it, and it could have the 1 year anniversary. It's just you adding the personal message if you want that to be on there, addressing the envelope. You know where they live, right? And you can literally start a tickler system if you want. So in your day to day journey, I look in the tickler. Do I have anything to drop in my mailbox today? If 15 minutes can change your revenue stream in the future.
that's brilliant. It really is. Yeah, because let's face it, for those of us who have not done this religiously for the last 25 years like me, it's hard to start today because some of the notes wouldn't make any sense because we're past the time frame of the congratulations on the 1 year anniversary. But you know what? You can still send a card on the anniversary of the home sale, even if it's 15 years later. What do you got to lose? You don't. I
Nothing.
think we have to
No.
rekindle those relationships if we have not maintained them, which shame on us. Nobody's going to hold us more accountable than ourselves. So I encourage you to start some type of system today. And also, we work with a lot of people that don't close on transactions. Okay, things happen. They weren't qualified for the loan. They're still our customers, and they're still our potential lead resource in the future. So let's keep them in the database as well, not just the ones who close on the transaction.
I agree on that. And I want you all to know that it's just not you that's struggling with this. This is just a human being going from task to task to task because let's be real, the world's moving quicker every day, right?
It
So
seems to
it's
be.
just a matter, yeah, seems to be, but it just takes that moment to say, hey, if I'm time sensitive, where can I put those 5 to 10 minutes? Is it when you're sitting in your car and you're waiting for the person to show up? Instead of scrolling, start planning.
Wow. Yes. Raise your hand if you are scrolling. Yes. Oh my.
Yes.
Ah. All right. So what's one simple thing a realtor could do this month that would change their business?
I think the most important thing is the thank you. I again think of it. We design, a beautiful a thank you card that's branded again with your information. A simple batch like this might sound like so simple, but so easy. Give me some, business card magnet inside of that. So I write a beautiful thank you note. I put in a magnet inside, credit card size, again promoting you, and just drop it in the mail. Like one thing, one simple touch that changes if it is a potential or if it's someone that's going to be your potential in the future.
Right.
All of them are going to remember you. And where does the magnet go? Up onto the filing cabinet, the refrigerator. It's going somewhere. Remember, personal touch. You're about personal touch, my realtor friends.
Yes, it's so true. I did a video yesterday that we don't sell homes. We build relationships and help customers make wise decisions when it comes to real estate. And I knew that early on. It's like I'm never gonna, not to be sexist here, I'm not gonna sell a woman on a kitchen. I'm not gonna sell a man on a garage, because no, if it fits most of their boxes that they want in a property, that's what we're there for, to make them help them make wise real estate decisions. These things we're talking about today just reinforce and make them remember that, hey, we were the person that helped them make that wise decision. So that's why tools like this can really help stay top of mind.
So, John, you're making me think of another marketing idea for you.
Go
Another
ahead.
marketing idea. Imagine if someone would give you a checklist of maintenance to do on your house one time a year before the worst season comes. If it's winter and they're going to get snow, or if it's the high rainy season, like whatever that case may be.
Right.
But let's be real. John, inside of your heart, what are the things that need to be maintenance? And what will then provide them a longer lasting home. And imagine if we created that list, and I'll bump back to something I said earlier, the list on a whiteboard that goes onto the refrigerator, the backside is all real estate, right? Well, imagine if we would give them the tips and tricks on maintaining their, mini split or their central air, or let's be real, when's the last time you checked your caulking around your outside outlets? Or did you look in below the sink to see if the hose to the sprayer is still good? So imagine how you can take your knowledge of home ownership to the next level of things that could be like, whew, yeah, I haven't looked at that hose underneath the sink. And we all know those hoses can go in a year and a half.
Yeah, that's
So
brilliant. Yeah, and Joanne, that got me thinking. That's an item that we could send to a whole neighborhood if we wanted to
yeah,
grow more business. And you know what? And maybe incorporate that with, by the way, I helped your neighbor at 123 Main Street buy or sell last year. I'd love to help you too. Whatever. But yes, we could probably create
we
a
can have
whole,
fun. We could just do a whole thing on creative juicing together
right.
on ideas, John.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Okay, I've got one more question for you. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
For someone who feels busy but not actually growing their business, what's the first step? And how can people find, and then eventually we're going to share your information here and in the
Sure.
description below the YouTube video as well.
So I think the very first step is don't feel overwhelmed. Be kind to yourself is very important. And then the next step is look at what are those touch points that you want to achieve through those moments of that person that you want to recall and make them educated about homeownership. So I say it's not about getting deleted by that first delete button. It's about ways that you can reflect on where you're at, reflect where you want to go, and then move the needle and take the step. And my step is to make you think of the item that gets utilized and touched and felt and recalled every time.
Yeah.
That's my goal. So I appreciate you having me here today,
Oh,
John.
I think you're the best. I love what you've done for me. I knew, and you, it's interesting. You sent me a question through email saying why did you decide to do this? And looking back at my last 6 years, I've been an agent the last 6 years. I was a broker for 17 and a half before that. So
Wow.
I'm fairly new in the realtor role, although I'm experienced because of the brokerage role. But when I looked at my transactions, almost all of them came from referrals of people I know, people that I know, our sphere.
Yeah,
So over the last few years, I know that I've spent a lot of money on marketing to people that I didn't know. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to change that around this year, and I'm going to focus on the people that I do know. And so that's why we decided to pick these 4, 5, 6 items. I've lost track. I think it's 5 or 6, and then mail them out quarterly. And the first one was that jar opener. And I wasn't surprised that that my customers called me because they know that it's not a transaction to me. This is a very important step in their life. And again, most of the times we help somebody, move from a hurricane damaged home to another home. It's, people having babies, et cetera. That's what we're helping them for. Um,
absolutely.
so, and while I'm thinking of it, because I'll forget, the most important thing for all the new agents out there, start creating a database of everybody that you are working with, whether they're closing on something or not, because that's going to be a vital piece to send to Joellen so that she can
Mhm.
start the work for you and mail, for you if you wanted to. So I'm just honored to have you in my life, and I'm so glad that you are doing what you did for me. And I'm glad to help
Yes.
you grow your business because I think every agent should have someone like you in their back pocket and as a tool. Um, you know, and
Thank you, John.
and if you don't mind, let's just talk a little bit about cost before we end this up.
Sure.
This was really reasonable. Okay. There are some costs involved with the production of each item because it's customized to you. So, but overall, it really was very reasonable in my mind for what the return on investment could be.
Yes. Again, it comes down to what type of budget do you want to spend? And understanding the one thing that we don't have control over is the postage if we're using mail. If we're using the postage, we'll have a guideline based on the current structure of the postal. Everything else we have control over when it comes to costs. If the item's going to be an item that's $1 or less than $1, we can figure all that out. So the beautiful thing is looking at the plan, and then the more open that you are with me, then the more open I could be back to find the solution for you.
Right.
So look at it as like, I'm on your marketing team, I'm just not on your payroll, but I'm here to make sure that you understand what we can achieve together,
Mhm.
and then also make sure that I'm with you through the whole process of it. Just like John, I'm with him through the whole process as the quarters go, because we're managing the whole thing from start to finish. So it's not you have to do it. You can do it if you choose, but I'll be going to be the one doing it for John.
Right. And so just to give our viewers, listeners an idea, I picked out my 5 items. I sent Joellen my Excel list with the mail, with the addresses, names, addresses, etc. And that's all I did. Okay. The extras that were, run because there's maybe a minimum quantity to be run, she sent me the extras, which I then gave out at open houses or did whatever I wanted to. So just I would highly encourage my realtor friends to think about this. Start a marketing plan. Use a professional like Joellen to help you do this. I tell our team all the time, stay in your lane, bro. Let's do what we do and allow somebody else to do what they do to help us grow our business. So,
Uh,
Joellen, thank you.
Thank you, John. I
Would you like to
appreciate
give
the
out your
opportunity.
number? I know I'll put it in the description, but why don't you share it now?
Sure. So, of course, Joellen Reichenbach, and my email is my first name, Joellen, Joellen, at Select Sales, SELECT, PA, believe it or not, I once at one time was in PA.com, or check out my website as well, selectsalespa.com. And just know you'll find me. Just Google my name. You'll find me, and I'm there for you.
And we will have all that information in the description as well. So well done,
Absolutely. That's okay.
Joellen. Well done. Let's
Thank
get
you.
let's get to work, right?
Let's get to work, John. Thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate you.
My pleasure. So, colleagues, realtors, friends, thanks for joining us this morning. If there's anything that I can do for you or Joellen, reach out. We are givers. We want to help you grow your business, and that's why we are here. So, Joellen, thanks again. Make it a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Peace, everybody.